Are we typing it up? Oh, I thought we're just winging it.
Yeah, I mean, you can. You don't have to
Oh,
type
I'll
it, but
fucking wing it all day long, man.
okay. Live read, man.
Wing it like he wings attending these motherfucking podcasts.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to 4-Player Co-op. I'm Gladys, and with me, as always, our Cryptic Panther.
Hey, everybody.
Doing work.
What up?
And Uberyoutuber.
What's happening?
The boys are finally back.
Boys are back in town.
And we are ready for a great podcast tonight. We've got a ton of topics for you guys. It's finally fantastic to have all four of us back. I'm super excited. So first, we're going to briefly talk about what we've all been playing, because there's been a series of podcasts here without one or the other member. So now that we're finally all back together, let's kind of catch up and say what we've been playing, and then we'll roll right into the news. So first, since I'm already talking, I'll lead it off. So I've been playing, as you guys have probably guessed, a lot of Friday the 13th, of course, loving the game, and it's super fun with friends, as we were just talking about. Yeah. MLB The Show, as always, trying to advance my career. I've got a 4-year pitcher in the Cardinals right now, and then a outfielder in the Oakland A's in my second year. And new to console, but one of my PC favorites, Dead by Daylight. A direct competitor to Friday the 13th as far as the asymmetrical hunter versus survivors type of game. Super, super fun. It came out really well on console. It translated beautifully, so I'm having a ton of fun playing that and Friday the 13th concurrently, so ton of fun. Panther, what have you been playing?
I've also been playing Friday the 13th Double XP weekend.
Shocker. Yeah.
So I picked it up a couple days after launch and got a few rounds in. I put quite a bit of time in this weekend between playing with doing work and some other people online, and between the server issues. It's been not bad. It's enjoyable. It can be some big fun. I do enjoy it. Playing the show as well. Thinking about starting a new Road to the Show character. I've been playing a lot of just against the computer, playing a lot of Conquest. I find MLB relaxing, just going on there and just playing some ball games. I don't play competitively, but it's fun. I enjoy it. I was playing Rime. It was on my channel. I started it, but kind of a mini channel update, I guess, right here. I had to do a lot of traveling, and I also had recent surgery on my elbow, which is kind of taking me over from long gaming sessions. So, and getting over a fucking horrible cold. So, other than a little bit of Friday the 13th and a little bit of show in the last week and a half, I haven't gamed a whole lot. So, I'm looking to get healthy and get back into fucking playing some more games.
Yeah, true that. I've also, here we go, bro. Is it broken record here? What's going on? I've also been playing a lot of Friday the 13th here lately. Although I have to say, after this last update, which did give everyone a really cool NES skin, really cool, emphasis on fucking really. The music's cool too. It's the old NES music. And everyone got 13,000 CP, which is cool. You can roll them perks. But the servers are fucking jacked right now. It's terrible. There's a lot of disconnects and sessions ending and getting booted from games. And aside from all of that, it's really cool. It's totally worth $40. So there's lots of throwbacks to the movies in there, and it's really, really cool. It's actually good to the point where I've gone back and started watching the movies in order again, something that I haven't done in a very long time.
I'm actually doing the same thing.
And
yeah,
me and my girlfriend as well are doing the same
really
thing.
Cool. I'm super bummed because my wife is gone for a week and she's never seen any of them, so I don't want to watch them without her.
Yep.
And we finished 5. We finished 5. Grown Up Tommy, right? 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
Final chapter. Yeah, so, I've got fucking 6 more now that I gotta wait a week. Sucks. Uber?
Yes, sir. I've been playing a bit of everything. Not Friday the 13th, though. I feel like a piece of crap.
Oh my god,
Fucking
user
liar.
disconnected.
I know. The 2 games you guys are the most passionate about, I have not played in quite a few weeks now. Horizon and Friday the 13th.
Gotta finish it.
I've been making some good use of all 3 consoles, though. I've been playing MLB The Show, my PS4. That's still a staple. I still play that quite a bit. Diamond Dynasty, a lot of offline stuff, and then I'm also in an online franchise, which has been pretty fun. As far as the Nintendo Switch goes, I picked up ARMS. That's a game I play with my son quite a bit, and that's a pretty good change of pace. it's fun. It's just mindless fun, really, is what it is. I've been playing a lot of that, and then on the Xbox One, I picked up Dirt 4, which is just a phenomenal rally racing game. And only reason I picked it up on the Xbox over the PS4 is because I have a racing wheel for the Xbox One. Otherwise, I probably would have gotten it for the PS4. But yeah, I've been enjoying that quite a bit as well. That's about everything. I haven't had too much time to play too many games. Lots of travel and stuff like that too.
All right.
Sweet.
Well,
Yeah.
So we've all been busy. Some of us are playing good games, and then there's Uberyoutuber. So
Heard it here first. The Switch is mindless.
Hey, Dirt 4 though. If you guys are into, I'm not sure if you guys are into racing games, but it is phenomenal.
No,
It
not
is
much.
just beautiful.
I don't remember what the name of the last one that I played was. It was on PS3, and there was like emphasis on the environment, doing major shifts to change the tracks. I don't remember what it's called, but it was more of an arcadey.
Was it Burnout?
No,
Was it a Burnout title?
nope. It might have been like I want to say something like a one word, like shift or pulse or so. I don't know. I don't remember.
Right.
But it was more of an arcadey game. So either way.
Yes.
All right, so we'll move right into gaming news here. I know we got our intro wrapped up and what we're all currently playing, so we are caught up. Panther, talk to us about a potential game of the year.
Well,
The
game
stats.
of the year. Well, our game of the year so far is, as everyone knows that listens to the podcast, or talks to any of us outside of the podcast.
Yep.
So far, it's been, it's all been Horizon Zero Dawn. And so they've done another update. I know a couple of podcasts ago, I'd have to go back and look it up. I should have before we started, but we did a cover one of these little articles back a few months ago. Stats from actual gameplay. So here's an update. It says, Aloy has destroyed 545 million watchers.
God.
Wow. Amazing.
There's been 1,285,000,000 of those annoying bandits have been put to rest.
I'm a little surprised, actually. More bandits than watchers?
Yeah. Also, Aloy has died 185 million times.
Oh.
Damn. I'm taking this from
Wow.
the article. That's a lot. More than 285 million fire arrows have been crafted.
Yep.
It says also the toughest non-boss machine in the game, the corrupted sawtooth.
Which is horseshit. Clearly, those people have not played
the corrupted rock
breakers or
breakers,
whatever.
is
Yeah.
Those
they're
things are AIDS.
Yeah. Yes.
yeah. Fuck, that took me forever to kill them two fucking assholes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Sniper
annoying.
monsters.
But the best part of this article is some guy or girl has picked up over 12,000 rocks. And in this article they say, if this is you, please explain why. So that's not overall. They never give an overall number for how many rocks, because this one person has picked up 12,000 rocks.
That's amazing.
How the fuck? So is that all they do is just pick up and drop rocks? And they just sit there and mindlessly pick up and drop rocks for 8 hours a day? God,
Maybe they think they can injure enemies with rocks.
I don't know.
You think
but
he
even
grabs a batch and just throws them at them?
10 where you hold 10 rocks at a time? There's someone 10 rocks and they're just trying to kill people with a rock. Maybe it's some YouTube guy with some YouTube video. That's all he does.
He's,
Right.
he's actually probably like super pro, and he's the stealthiest motherfucker ever.
Yeah,
Like he
he's
never gets
right.
spotted because he just rocks everything.
all he does is just he rocks everything in the opposite direction and just
Yeah,
knocks out.
that must be it. I don't know. I don't know how the hell.
Final showdown with nothing but rocks.
Yeah, and the corrupted sawtooth, the non-boss fight, is the least killed of all robots.
Yeah.
Only 1,125,000.
Still.
But that seems low.
I don't
Because
know.
the corrupted sawtooth is part of the storyline, is it not? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't
think
want to
so.
spoil anything because I know one of us hasn't played it yet, and anyone else who may be listening. But yeah, I'm positive there's one of the corrupted sawtooths isn't part of the storyline. So is it? How is it that low?
I don't know.
So does that mean that at the very maximum 1.2 million people have beaten the game?
1.125 million, I
One point-
guess,
so-
if that holds
And
true.
it's sold 3.5 million, so a third of people who have picked up the game have beaten it.
Well, you're one of them,
Interesting.
so
Maybe. I mean, if
I'm-
we're ballparking it, then yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Mhm.
if that's
Interesting.
yeah, I mean. So I mean, like too, if someone plays completely offline, I don't know how they'd ever know the stats either, too, right? So
True.
Good point.
it's not, yeah. So I mean, yeah, but I mean, still, that's some of those numbers are crazy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like Aloy dying 185 million times.
Wow.
I know I've done some stupid shit and get killed, but holy crap!
Yeah. Damn.
Right.
And funny thing is, too, I actually went back and actually played some Horizon Zero Dawn last week, just fucking around. I got everything done, so I just loaded up and I was just going out killing some fucking machines for fun. And yeah, it's like, cause I just can't wait for the DLC. I already pre-ordered.
Nice.
Awesome. All right, Work. We've got some more Horizon Zero Dawn to talk about. Tell us about the coming years ahead.
Yes, it's been, I don't know that announced is the right word, but if anyone didn't know that Horizon is a PlayStation exclusive, you should probably crawl out from underneath that rock that you're living under. It's also pretty well known at this point that it's based on the success of this game. It's going to be a major franchise, and Guerrilla Games apparently has years of content planned for this game, which is great news to me, and I'm sure to everybody else.
Yes.
Yep.
It's fantastic. They worked on Killzone for, God, probably 10 or 15 years between all the different titles.
Yep.
So Killzone was cool, but I'm glad that they're putting, full steam ahead with Horizon, and they're going to take it. There's plenty of story left. There's plenty of roads to go down. It's really cool, man. I'm stoked. I love this game, and I want more. This is great.
Agreed.
Definitely.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean, some people, there's a few people online I've messaged back and forth with on Reddit. They're like, game was good, but didn't live up to the hype, and I'm like, that's fine. I mean, but not too many people I've ever heard say they didn't like the game. There's some people that maybe not happy with certain things, but overall, I think even the people that said the game didn't live up to their hype, still they said the game was good, other than a few nitpicky things or even a few things. But yeah, I mean, I think it was a phenomenal game. Like I said, it's right now the three of us, have beaten it and are saying game of the year. So
Yeah, and I think it's just gonna grow too. I mean, the price point now, $40.
yeah,
I think there's still gonna be quite a few people picking this game up right now, and then the holidays coming, plus the DLC.
Yep.
It's phenomenal. It's awesome. It's good time to be playing this game.
On PS4.
Ooh,
that's right.
Only on
Exclusively, yeah. Yep. All right, speaking of PlayStation 4 here, Sony has regained the top of the sales list with the PlayStation 4 as far as console hardware sales go. So, May 2017, PS4 best-selling hardware. Nintendo Switch was the April top-selling console. Obviously, the release of the Switch is a very big deal. It was very, very popular, made a lot of sales. So, of course, a new console being introduced, a lot of people bought it. So, yeah, it won April, but the reigning champion, PS4, is back on top. Let me see if they have what the number is. Not yet. No, I don't think this article even lists it. It just says it was a top seller.
Yeah, they didn't go into great detail. They didn't give
I was
us
scrolling down waiting to find it, and no, it didn't say it.
I went through the article too, and I didn't see anything for numbers. The only thing they list is the top 10 best-selling games as well in the article, so it's kind of a dual article.
Yeah.
There is a very interesting sentence in that article that I'm going to read, and then we're going to retouch it a little later. So far, the two best-selling games for 2017 are still Ubisoft's Ghost Recon Wildlands and For Honor, with Breath of the Wild coming in at third. So just remember the words For Honor a little later.
Yeah.
And actually, for May here, it does list in this article the top 10 best-selling games, and coming in at number 6 is Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. So still selling strong, only 2 spots behind Legend of Zelda. And also, surprisingly, Grand Theft Auto is number 3.
Yeah.
GTA 5.
Yeah.
Right? How old is
4
that
years
game
later.
now? 4 years later? Right?
Yeah, that's
If
amazing.
this was Bethesda's list, Skyrim and fucking Fallout 4 would be at the top of it. It'd be the whole top 10.
Skyrim.
The 5 greatest rappers of all
Ultimate,
time. Skyrim,
Epic Edition.
Skyrim.
Switch Edition,
Skyrim 2.
Mobile Edition, VR Edition.
FAP edition.
Just endless ways to fap to Skyrim.
Skyrim for your fucking abacus.
Skyrim job. The adult version.
That's got to be VR, right?
Right. Oh, of course. Yeah.
It better have like the smell-o-vision attachment on it too.
Oh my god.
Tongue extender edition.
All right, we'll move on here now. Uber, talk to us about Eurogamer.
Yes, so Eurogamer shed some light on how Call of Duty, or how Sledgehammer is going to handle the World War II, the next iteration of Call of Duty, the World War II game, as far as swastikas and female soldiers are concerned. Pretty good article. I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but it looks like they're going to approach it to treat. They're going to treat the campaign very differently than the multiplayer side. Which I think makes sense. They're trying to go for an authentic feel of the era when it comes to the campaign mode. But when you're talking multiplayer, where you have your created soldier, you don't want to and the swastika and things like that, having that in the multiplayer probably rather offensive to a lot of people, and so they're going to remove that from the game. As far as the multiplayer side is concerned. So it's really interesting to me, interesting story to read. I mean, it sheds a whole another light on a side that we as gamers sometimes don't think about, all the things that the developers have to really take into consideration when making a game, right? You want to be like authentic to the era, but at the same time you don't want to offend people and have things that are offensive in the game. What do you guys think about this?
Well, I get into it with multiple people on Reddit. There was PlayStation Access played some of the multiplayer at E3, so I linked the video on the PS4 subreddit. And on YouTube, I mean, yourself, Uber, and anyone else that's on YouTube, the YouTube comment section is pretty poison. Reddit can be poison as well, but sometimes there's a little bit more thought in the comments. But to so many people, because it was only multiplayer is all they show. There's so many videos I've seen. No matter who's put them up, it's all multiplayer videos. So there's nothing campaign released yet. And everyone's like, where's the swastikas? No swastikas. I ain't buying this fucking game. What's female soldiers doing in this game? I ain't buying this fucking game. And then I was like, well, I posted it on Reddit. So people were commenting. And I was like, well, it's who cares? It's not a history lesson. It's a video game. Well, it's supposed to make it very authentic. And it's like, right. But that's, if there's the laws in certain countries don't allow swastikas in any media, whether it's movies or video games.
Right.
Germany,
my home country, Germany, being one of them.
Right. So Germany, and I think there's a few other Scandinavian countries that don't allow the swastika to be in any medium. So right off the bat, they're like, well, we're done. And it's you can't sell the game in Germany or a few other countries, so they lose player base. Or they got to make two fucking complete games. Two separate games, sorry. So it becomes a money thing at the end of the day. But I mean, at least the campaign is going to have the actual authentic stuff. Is going to have swastikas and everything else. So they'll have to make a separate campaign to be released in Germany.
So you guys are both in favor of them removing
in the multiplayer. I don't have a problem with it in multiplayer, because if you did, then you have to block certain countries from participating in online play with everybody else.
Yeah.
So if you were in Germany and I was in France, we couldn't play multiplayer together if swastikas were available in the game, because they'd be blocked because of the laws in the countries.
Right. And let's face it, the multiplayer on COD, I mean, we're not really going after realism here with kill streaks and all this.
I mean, as someone as someone that appreciates history, and I know quite a bit about World War II, and I have respect for anyone that fought in the war, no matter what war it is, and stuff like that. And I mean, but to me, I get into an argument with a fellow on Reddit, and it's like, well, it's history, and we shouldn't be removing it. People need to know. People need to learn. I said, and the swastika has big presence in history, especially with World War II. But I said, you know what? I said, what the problem with that is, is everybody who jumps on Battlefield 1 and even at MLB The Show, as soon as there's a logo created, people make swastikas, so it's lost its presence as a note as something noted in history.
Yeah, it doesn't carry the weight that
it's a symbol for triggering people and to try to act like you're fucking edgy. To me, that's pointless. But I'm not trying to cut you off on that either, Baker. But I just believe in the multiplayer, it's not required. People are going to make logos anyways.
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. Yeah, it's going to be there in the forms of logo creation anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
Well, my take is actually from a different direction that hasn't been mentioned yet. This whole game and every bit of it, the entire experience, is just nonstop murder. So I would say that, 4 little lines arranged in a row, probably not the biggest deal. I wouldn't care about actually leaving them in. I would say it's a little dainty to have them removed.
Well, like I said, it's done because of logistics. It's not done because they're worried about upsetting
Well,
somebody.
I'm saying the logistics in place, causing them to be removed, is a little silly, I feel.
Wow.
When the game is literally how many people you can kill,
Right.
they're worried about a logo. Like, that's the issue, not just relentless, uncompromising murder over and over again and celebration of murder. It's a shooter where you can blow people up, you can shoot them, you can stab them, you can kill people in a whole number of ways and in large masses. But the problem is a logo. To me, that doesn't add up logically.
Well, I mean, but it's not like their first decision when they made the game is, well, we're going to remove swastikas so no one sees them.
I'm not saying from the development side. Like I said, it's the whatever logistics are in place for these countries that have banned them. And for me, I'm obviously a huge advocate for free speech, and we don't really go into politics or anything here. But again, for me, if we're taking just this gaming slice right here of logistics, it's very silly to me that's saying, no, the symbol's not okay, but just unrelenting murder is fine.
Yeah.
But where do you draw the line too, right? Because I mean, they're pushing your creative.
Video games, I wouldn't. Video games to me is an art form, and I wouldn't prohibit that.
I agree with that. But now, if you because they're pushing your created soldier to get into the game, and if you're trying to portray this realistic experience, you won't have female soldiers, you won't be able to have a black soldier fighting for the German side, for example.
Sure.
So they kind of, I feel like they had to go one way or the other way with it, and open it up for everyone, or stay true, authentic to the era. I don't know. I'm with you on that as it being a form of art, and if you are trying to portray an era in time, you can do that in a game. But the multiplayer, that's just such a I'm sure they're still trying to bring in as many people as they can.
Sure. But I mean, my 2 points in favor of not banning it is like the art argument, that I don't think art should be banned, and also that it is historic, like it's fact, it happened. There's no escaping this. Like, we learn about this in school. This is taught. We see pictures of this. We know the symbol and we know what it means, and it's universally condemned now. You know what I mean? Except for a very, very, very small sliver of white supremacists that are out there. So
Yeah.
it's not like putting this up is the first time that people see it. It's not going to be the last time that people see it. And if people are offended by seeing it, then they're offended by history. They're offended by fact. Like, I just...
Right.
Everyone understands that this is a bad thing. It's not being put up in favor of it or even any taking a stance on it. It's taking a slice of history and then putting an arcade game onto that backdrop. It's not utilizing the swastika in any way that's other than a backdrop for a place for you to have entertainment. And that's only because it's based in history. I don't know.
And I see what you're saying. It's funny that they chose that as a point of, quote, contention, if you will, versus mindless slaughtering in a video game.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me of all the controversy that came out on, I believe it was Modern Warfare 2, where you walked through the airport as Russians and just mowed down unarmed civilians.
Yep.
No swastikas or anything like that, but that was either British or quote NATO forces killing Russian civilians or something along those lines.
Something like that, sure.
And that got less coverage, I remember it, than this.
I don't know. That was pretty
it's a
controversial.
swastika.
I don't know. That was huge.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, in the single player, they're holding true to the history, and it's a multiplayer. So, like I said, I understand why they have to, But people just seem to be finding the smallest thing to lose their fucking shit over. But a video game, I'd be like, it's just a fucking reskinned COD, man. Like it's.
And like that's where I don't see why they have to. I don't, because right, and I'm getting broad strokes here, but video games are a form of art.
I agree.
And if a famous artist paints a wild picture that has some sort of swastika in it, and they display it in some sort of art exhibit, it will be critiqued. But I doubt that there would be this kind of outcry, and that art exhibiting place would probably not be forced to say, we can't show paintings of swastikas anymore because people's asses are getting chafed.
Sure. But you could even narrow it down and say, and I love the example right up to this point, though, that an artist decides to make a painting, but he makes a painting, somewhere in the setting is World War II. Like, which is this game. So if we want to take the analogy, he creates a painting, and the painting is of some type of World War II setting. There's tanks, there's soldiers and everything, and then there's a swastika.
It's clear that it belongs.
Yes, right? Exactly. Yeah. Because, again, he's basing this on facts, on events that actually happen.
Right, he's provided context.
Yeah, exactly. So in some countries, if they said, oh, well, we're not gonna allow people to look at this painting because it has a swastika in it. This is a World War II. Like, it's a piece of art about World War II. I mean, like, what do you expect it to show?
Well, it's that old saying, like, those that ignore history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the kind of the other side of it. I mean, like I said, I'm the same as you. I'm all for free speech and nothing, against censorship and all that stuff, because like a lot of it's people are overly sensitive and everything, anyways. But when you're talking, especially when you're talking Call of Duty multiplayer, where in fucking history have they ever really kept the accuracy with their multiplayer? So when you're talking, their campaign is saying true to history, so this swastika is going to appear. It's going to be basically like every other thing. I mean, it's a multiplayer, and it's, I don't know, like I said, it's a small thing to a point to be so fucking worked up about that you're making rant posts on Reddit and YouTube and swearing and cursing and swearing at the developers and cursing and swearing at the publishers. Like, it's not them. Go talk to the German government. Don't shit on the developers and the game makers because they can't put the key thing in the game. It's because they're being stopped by politics and fucking crybabies.
But it's today's world that we live in, right?
People like totally losing their minds over this and it's not for the reason. Like I said, every time you have a fucking logo creator in a game, the first thing that people do is make a fucking swastika and piss everybody off. Battlefield 1, not one fucking swastika was ever around in World War 1 times. The Nazis were not a fucking thing, but yet every fucking second kid in Battlefield 1
had a little bit while we're talking history. The swastika predates
Nazis. Well, the Nazi version of the swastika,
sure.
Right? Yeah. I'm talking Nazi. I'm not talking the Hindu version for peace. Okay. I'm talking the Nazis were not a thing in World War One. They were not a fucking Nazi ever thought of.
Right.
So I mean, people automatically, the second they hear Germans, they associate the swastika with Germans and war. So, like I said, it's kind of lost its power to a point in the generalization, the way people use it and try to just trigger people with it. Yeah. So people to get so upset because the swastika's not in a multiplayer game. Yeah, when you're talking censorship, I understand it. But people like totally losing their fucking minds and like fucking like basically thinking of driving over to Activision and kicking someone in the nuts for it is retarded.
I would argue that there would be more people in uproar though if it was in the game. So I think Activision's kind of towing the line there and kind of thinking, okay, what's best for business? Honestly,
well, I mean, like I said, if they have to make two different versions of the game, so it becomes right down to it. Like they can't say, well, we're not going to sell it in Germany or not going to sell it in those other countries because it has this in it. So now they have to have two complete games because they can't sell the full version in Germany because the campaign has swastikas in it. So it's a big fucking mess. But I think these people are losing their fucking minds over it. I don't know if they're just trying to start shit or they're actually that upset over history. I don't know. Guarantee if you look back at the Reddit history, I bet they never posted once in the history subreddit. So
I don't know. I feel like the whole thing is silly.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
I agree.
All right, we'll move on.
Who cares?
Yeah, of course. God, we spent way too much time on that one. That totally killed our groove. We had good time going so far. Panther, get us back on track with Naughty Dog.
Ah, Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog. What's not to say I love about Naughty Dog? So, Naughty Dog has come out with Lost Legacy DLC. It's actually standalone. It's almost pretty much a full game. I read a few different interviews since E3, and they're talking that the new DLC is technically close to being a full game. And they've also talked that it's not going to be the end of end of Uncharted. I keep wanting to say end of Naughty Dog. They're not be the end of Naughty Dog. Jesus, the end of Uncharted. They say there's going to be no more Nathan Drake. They say his story's been told. So the Uncharted spin-off of the Lost Legacy. So Nathan's not going to be in it at all. And they've decided to push forward and potentially, once I'd say the Last of Us Part 2 is completed, I figure we're going to get another in a line of stories being told in the Uncharted universe. They're talking potentially for other characters having their own kind of episodes. They're talking like possibly Sully having his own story. I'm hyped. I'm a big fan of the Uncharted series. I'm looking forward to the Lost Legacy, and I'm interested. Like, it's Naughty Dog. I mean, they're awesome at storytelling, and like I said, they're not scrapping the actual Uncharted universe right now. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's good news. All right, so Work, talk to us about the media remote for PS4.
Media remote. Yeah, so I don't know how many of you had the media remote for the PS3, but it was kind of big and goofy.
I had it.
Yep.
It was handy, though, if you were using it as like a Blu-ray player and stuff like that. I had one, too.
Yep.
And it honestly surprised me that within, 6 months to a year, the PS4 coming out, especially with, the app integration, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, et cetera, that there wasn't a remote and that you had to use the controller.
Right.
The controller is cool, don't get me wrong, but, and I think I'm the only one here, as a PlayStation Vue subscriber, I use my PlayStation to watch television on, and having to control it with a game remote is not impossible, but cumbersome is a word that comes to mind. It's a little goofy.
Yes.
So I am stoked, man. I'm happy this thing's coming out. I haven't even clicked on a link to see how much it is. I hope it's not like $100 fucking. But
I was just gonna ask what the price point is.
Amazon.com listed for $24.99.
Oh yeah, it's $25.
Oh
That's
yeah,
awesome, dude.
That's
a guaranteed purchase for me.
Same here. Automatic.
Yeah, it
buy.
looks nice. It doesn't look like it's. I don't know what the scale is on this picture, but I'm thinking something slightly bigger than an Apple TV remote.
Mm-hmm.
It's Bluetooth. It has dedicated PS4 buttons, so you'll have share, all that good stuff. But the other thing is, at launch, the media remote will be fully compatible with most apps on PlayStation 4 systems, which is really cool.
That's huge. So Netflix and Hulu and
exactly,
Voodoo
your
and
pause,
all that stuff.
your fast forward, exactly. So that's
awesome.
really cool, man. It also, well, I guess it won't make watching YouTube easier. But yeah, man, for PlayStation Vue subscribers, this is something we've been begging for a while now.
Well, cool. I had actually forgotten about the controller for PS3, so seeing this article here, oh yeah, you know what? They did have a controller back there.
Yeah, that thing.
I still have
big
it
too. I probably still have mine kicking around here somewhere too. But yeah, it was big, man. It was like
it's
home
really
theater
long,
receiver.
right?
Yeah, I want to say it was like 8 or 9 inches long. It was crazy. Phrasing.
Yeah.
It was crazy big.
All right. Actually, some crazy big news, possibly. We don't know which direction this is going to go yet, but surprise of E3 for me is that Atari is working on a gaming console.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
1993 called.
So CEO of Atari, Fred Chesnace, I'm probably butchering that, but he said in an interview with GamesBeat, and I've never heard of them either, but at E3 2017 he said that. He wouldn't say much about it, only saying that Atari is, quote, back in the hardware business, end quote. The last console from Atari, of course, was the Jaguar, which debuted in 93 and was discontinued in 96.
Damn.
3 years too long.
Yeah. They posted a video on June 8th teasing the device by calling it an Atari box. It says it's a brand new Atari product that is years in the making, end quote. So that's the only information we have so far. There's speculation that it's possibly going to be similar to the Nintendo Classic consoles that they've been releasing. Well, the NES Classic, and then the next one that they're making. But there's, like I said, speculation that could be it. I doubt very, very much that Atari is trying to go toe-to-toe with the current market that we have, the modern consoles. I don't think that it's going to try to go toe-to-toe with PS4 and Xbox.
I don't think Atari as a company has the money to play that game.
No.
Yeah, they're like a farm team at this point. I think it's funny how it says that the Atari box is based on PC technology. So, like, you know, every other piece of electronics on the fucking earth. Like, way to stand out, Atari.
Yeah.
It's got a processor and RAM.
Well, golly gee, I gotta buy me one of them.
Yeah, so I doubt, like I said, very much that it's going to be a competitor to our modern consoles. But my guess, if I had to make one, would be probably a collection of a whole bunch of Atari classics.
Oh man,
in
Pitfall.
some type of some type of easily accessible way. Probably going to be wireless controllers. You know, the whole Wi-Fi enabled, probably no apps or anything like that. Like I said, probably not trying to edge into the modern market, but it will probably come with a giant library of older classic games. So
I'm predicting that it's going to be a way overpriced Raspberry Pi.
How are you gonna say it? Sounds like someone's baking up a Raspberry Pi to me.
Sounds like a retro Pi in a wood box.
Yeah.
Wood
The
veneer.
aesthetics,
it's gonna
though.
look like an Atari 2600.
Aesthetically, like what they've shown, just a little glip, it looks like more than just that little mini NES plastic box, though. It looks kind of like it's going to be something more than that.
If
But
you're going to charge a couple $100 for a Raspberry Pi, you got to make that shit look good, right?
now, right? So, like $200, like would people pay that?
So that's the question, right? If
People
it's
pay the
all
money
of
for
the
the
Atari
Switch.
old school 2600 games and it's $200. Are
No.
you guys in that market? Like, I'm not in that market.
no,
I'm
not in
either.
that market for $100. No.
I
No.
agree. But
Well,
the looks
yeah,
of it,
especially,
it
you
looks
know,
like more than. It looks like it would be more than $100.
It looks cool. Yeah. If I could get the shell for what they showed in the video and then stuff a retro Pi into it, I'd be down for that.
I think I still have access to a 2600.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should turn it back on and be reminded of how terrible it was.
Oh my god. I have to get an adapter and hook it up to my fucking TV.
Oh my gosh.
That was the
I'd say you could go to a Radio Shack, but they're out of business too.
Yeah.
And I think Baker, I think that guy's last name, I think it's actually pronounced "Oh my God, Atari's still in business?" Question mark. I think that's how you say that.
No, it's probably something like,
Oh my gosh, I like the podcast with sound effects. This is good. I'm gonna have to pull up a Samuel L. Jackson soundboard.
yeah, I downloaded a soundboard. Actually, that's what I was messing with pre-podcast. All those noises.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, hopefully we'll get some more news. It probably won't be coming anytime soon at all, especially because he didn't give any more details.
And it's Atari. They got a
And it's-
Kickstarter to
and
afford
it's
to hire
Atari.
people. So
I didn't even know Atari as a company still existed anymore.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
been a
either.
club.
Right.
Yeah.
damn it, they're gonna buy Mad Cats.
They're gonna what?
They're gonna buy Mad Cats.
Fuck, that cat's long gone, man. Put that in a casket and buried that motherfucker.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I imagine the shareholder meeting at Atari sounding something like this.
Oh god, don't! I hate that. God.
All right, let's move
that's
on.
great.
Uber, talk to us about the Xbox One X, dumb name.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Initially, it's a pretty bad name, and I get like when you abbreviate it, it comes out to Xbox.
Yeah.
But now that just confuses people, right? Wait, wasn't there an Xbox like 15 years ago? What's going on? I don't like the name. But nonetheless, Digital Trends released a little video. It looks like it was from the E3 show floor, maybe, where they got their hands on an Xbox One X, at least looking at it. From the outside, aesthetically, gosh, I don't know. All these new consoles, they're not very pretty looking. I feel like there could be the PS4 Pro looks like crap. This Xbox One X looks pretty similar to the One S, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit smaller.
A little smaller.
But it's just, it kind of has a generic cable box looking feel to it. I don't know.
Very plain.
Right? but it's pretty powerful hardware. Now you're gonna need 4K TV and all that other stuff to truly appreciate the
Not
hardware.
only 4K, you need 4K HDR.
Right.
HDR, yes.
To really get all you're gonna get out of it.
That's a good point.
Now is HDR common in the? Because I honestly don't know
I don't
anything
think
about
it's
HDR.
common in the TV market. I know
No, it's pretty
cell
high
phones
end.
have been capturing in HDR mode for a couple of years, but TV wise, 4K HDR stuff that's like a year-ish old.
Yeah, it's pretty high end. You're gonna need a pretty high end TV.
Yeah, you're buying a
to be able
Sony
to-
XBR, like your run-of-the-mill LG's not gonna have that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It looks cool. I think $4.99 the price point is fair. I'm probably gonna buy one. I'm in that market though, and I don't know how many people are really. I mean, it's gonna.
Okay.
It speaks to a very
Here's my question.
specific
I interrupt you
audience.
for a second. But here's my
Sure.
question. You already own an Xbox One S. Why would you buy an Xbox One X?
Well, that's just who I am. I gotta have the new shit, man.
So that's just the only reason.
But-
It's not because it's that much fucking better. It's
Well,
just
I mean,
because you
I
like
do
to
have a
the newest thing.
HDR 4K TV. I'm a racing game fan. Forza alone, makes me kind of want to buy this thing. With that being said, though, I'm not a big fan of these like in between generation consoles.
No, neither am I.
I mean, I'm all for making a slim version of a console and adding some hard drive space, but we get into this territory now where they're upgrading the hardware, but some it's backwards compatible. Are the companies who make the games actually gonna make a better product? I wonder, for these like in between consoles, because they all have to be compatible with the old systems as well, right?
Yep.
So I wonder how much resources the developers are really going to throw into making like an Xbox One X game of looks that much better than the Xbox One S version of a game. So I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't know. What do you guys think about this?
Well, I just think this mid-console thing is going to hamper game development because now they have to, especially any companies that recently put out a game that wasn't on Pro or before the Pro or the X, now they have to develop fucking patches to make the games run better on these. So that's game development time. Instead of working on new consoles, new material, new games, new DLC, new IPs, or even fucking doing patches for current games. Now they go back and rework patches to run better on 4K, run HDR, all that extra stuff. I think they should have just left it for a 2 more year cycle and then just come out with a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox One. Would be Xbox 2 now? Whatever that
Yeah.
is. Like, I mean, to me, that's a thing. I mean, if they're... I don't know, man. Like, stop this mid-year shit. This is new. This mid-year thing is new. This console generation. So I don't have a PS4 Pro. I ain't buying one. I don't have a 4K TV.
Yeah.
I game on a
Yeah,
1080p monitor, so like, and a 1080 TV when I play on my TV. So my opinion is it's a waste of money.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I kind of feel the same way. I almost feel like it's asking consumers to just drop more and more and more and more, and a lot of us don't like to do that. Like I've got a 55-inch TV, and it's beautiful. I love it, and it plays my games really smooth. It looks great. I don't want to drop, however, close to $1,000 to get a similar sized 4K TV now, just so I can see, maybe a little more than marginal graphics improvement. It's not worth that much money to invest. To me,
Yeah, 'cause you're talking
So I've
TV
got
and
I've got to
console.
buy probably to get a similar size TV to what I currently have, probably somewhere between $600 and $1,000, and that's just for the TV. And then I have to buy this brand new console.
You have 55 now?
Yeah.
Yeah, LG 50-inch 546, Samsung 55-inch $1,300. Well, $1,229 tax is $1,300.
There you go.
I mean,
And then
Yeah.
if you want to add the HD HDMI R. You said was the Xbox.
Well, it's called
HDR.
HDR. So
HDR.
I just checked that out. That's high dynamic range, and basically, if your television says it's 4K Ultra HD,
Yeah.
Yes.
that's the the
Okay.
buzzword Ultra HD. So Ultra HD means that television has HDR. It's got a little logo and shit on it.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And then there's SUHD, which is Super Ultra HD, which is
Yeah.
a whole
Jeez.
nother. That'll be
That's-
like the PS4 Super Pro
if-
coming
That's
out
that's
next
OLED
spring.
stuff.
It was mentioned on the last podcast. I mentioned it, and like the most common word used in the Xbox and Microsoft's pressure was 4K.
Yep.
4K, 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 and it's like, well, that's a buzzword now. People hear 4K and they think it's so much better than 1080 because 1080 was the buzzword, right?
Yep.
You know, so now they're just banking on the TV sales to boost console sales. And I'm thinking your content should be boosting your console sales. Your
Yes.
fucking exclusive should be boosting console sales. Not a fucking buzzword.
Well, and the best example of that is PlayStation just pummeling the shit out of Xbox in sales.
60 million consoles. and
Yeah.
counting.
They have comparable stats. The PS4 is more powerful, yes, but it's not over 30 million console sales up in the market just because it's marginally more powerful.
Right,
No, it's the
right.
games.
It's the games.
It's the
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how are you
I
going to
think-
sell it to the mainstream audience, right? Like the
No.
little Jimmy, 8-year-old little Jimmy, and grandma's going to Best Buy to buy him a system. You know, Xbox One gonna cost you what? Probably $200 by the time the Xbox One X releases, and this thing's costing $500.
Yeah.
And you start, you know, hammering home 4K and HDR to grandma over
Yep.
there. She's gonna look at the price tag and go like, you
Yeah.
know,
She
$200. Does it play the same games? Yes, it does. All the game, you know. Hey, I'm getting the $200 version of this.
She gonna tell little Timmy to eat a dick. Where that's going. When did the PS4 Pro come out? How long has it been out now?
I'm just top of my head, ballpark instinctual, maybe 6 months.
What's that?
It's I believe
Maybe a
it was
little less?
holiday season of last
The
year,
Pro?
so somewhere in there, November.
Yeah, the Pro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time this one comes out, the Xbox One X, it's going to be basically a year newer than the PS4 Pro. Is that a fair,
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
about that.
fair
Yeah.
say? So I like that they say it's a lot faster with about 30% more computing power. Like it's running on technology that's a year roughly newer. Even 6 months is a lot.
Yep.
In like
Yeah.
internal hardware world, like God damn it, it should be 30 or 40% faster. Like don't sell me that
Yeah.
as a point. Like if I have a 1070 and then the 1080 comes out, yeah, it's fucking better.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
that's a
not
selling
released
point.
at
You
the
bought a
same
newer
time.
video card, bitch. I know it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good point.
It's a product that came out later, so yes, the important point is that you're directly comparing it to
Right,
an
you're-
older model.
Right.
You're using it as a selling perk, but it's not
Right.
And-
really like it's not something that you should tout. That's
and-
like what's that old Chris Rock thing? Like you shouldn't be proud that you didn't go to jail. You're not supposed to go to jail.
Another thing is too. I mean, they're hammering home all like their exclusives, and
Ugh.
and even like their launch exclusive. And I don't know if anyone watches Kind of Funny Games. Craig Miller used to be IGN. Everyone knows Craig Miller is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, I watched they have a podcast, and I was watching it the other day, and they were talking about some different things that went on, and they're saying how they kept saying like console launch exclusive, but in the presser they kept saying they had all these exclusives, but yet a lot of those games are launch exclusives, and some of them that were even title launch exclusives were actually full exclusives. So their press conference was a lie.
Yeah.
Kind of like the name of this podcast half the time. It's not always 4-player co-op,
Ah.
but
Yeah.
fucking yeah, like I mean, their fucking press conference didn't even. Whoever created their video didn't even know what the fuck was an actual exclusive to Microsoft or a console exclusive. And
Yeah.
why would you buy? And like I said, anyone that has an Xbox One S, consider the game does upscale to 4K. Some games will upscale. So why were you gonna drop $500 on another console? That you're gonna get some games will have a little bit better improvement over others. So all the other games have to be fucking backpatched now to work like the Pro was. A lot of those games have to be backpatched to work better on the Pro than they did. And they had no talk of VR. One big thing about going for the Pro is because it does handle PlayStation VR better than the actual PlayStation 4. I've talked to a few
Yeah.
people, I think yourself
For
Peter,
sure.
as well, and
Yes.
a couple other buddies that have switched from just regular PS4 to a Pro with VR. They noticed an improvement. But I mean, like, I don't know. I think people they're just banking on buzzwords, and they're banking on no fucking exclusives to sell this console because.
Well, and we covered the exclusives though. They don't have it.
No, they really don't. And I'm in the market, but I'm a very specific, kind of customer. I already talked about switching, all my EA sports games to Xbox this upcoming season, because this is the first time I've had an Xbox One. I do have a 4K, HDR TV, so it's intriguing to me. But I realize there aren't that many people. The masses aren't out there to really take advantage of this system. So I'm super curious to see how it's gonna do. How many units they're gonna sell, because I just don't see a lot of people shelling out that kind of money, $500
$600
for an
an
in-between system.
Yeah. Well, there's that. It's you got to shovel out between $500 and $600 depending on your region. I'll include you there, Panther. Don't worry.
Thanks.
$500 or $600 plus $60 for the game, and then for the market that hasn't upgraded to a full 4K TV, you've got to include the price of that in there, which I would say, I don't know, maybe at the top end, 60% of the market. Can we ballpark and agree about that? They would have to buy a better TV?
I'd say
At least,
yeah.
at least, I think.
Okay, so then you're adding, if they want to get even a monitor-sized one, it's probably going to be $200.
Oh,
A 24-inch, 28, whatever. So
4K
yeah, I mean, you're
monitors are
adding
fucking expensive. So.
Yeah, you're adding several $100s for a majority of the gamer market. I mean, yeah, you're talking about creeping up on $1,000 very, very
Easy.
quickly.
Easy. Over 1,000. I'm going to say over 1,000 because who's going to buy a 22-inch TV with 4K?
Well, I mean, you game on a smaller TV, right?
I game on a 24-inch 1080p monitor that's like a lot
Yeah.
close to me. I game on a 42-inch TV, but but playing on a 24-inch as close as I play on it, it's like playing on a bigger TV.
Yeah.
Because it's close, right? It's not. I don't get the screen size, but I get the clarity from my.
It takes up
24-inch LED.
the same view because you're closer to it. Sure.
True, but I'm just saying, like, no one's gonna go out and spend big bucks on like a TV for the living room to do 4K on, because I mean, 4K, you're not gonna buy a 4K TV. Hopefully, most people are gonna buy one just to play video games on. People want to do it because they watch movies, Blu-rays, TV shows,
Exactly.
whatever else. So you're talking someone's gonna buy a 55-inch 4K. You're looking close to anywhere from $700 to $1,000, and a fucking $500 console in the U.S.
Yep.
Wow.
To play
They're
the
in there
same
on the
games
dresser,
that you
turn the
can
light on.
play.
Yeah,
Already.
For like,
They're in there
yeah,
somewhere.
for
They're in
a
the little
1080
sleeve
TV
case
and
that's
a
like a back.
It's
console.
just nuts. I
black
think
Target
they
sleeve
totally went
case
the wrong
on the
direction
dresser.
with this.
You see him? All right.
But
Fucking
yeah, if we're gonna ask about these moderate increases, these in between consoles, yeah, I'm not in favor of it. I don't think so.
Yeah, like I'm looking on Newegg right now, and the cheapest 30-ish inch 4K monitor that I can find is a refurbished Asus. And I say cheapest, I'm talking about brands that I recognize, right? So not
Yeah.
like janky brands. It's $700,
God.
right? And it's not UHD, so it's not even HDR. It's just 4K.
Yep.
That's bananas.
I guess if you're rich, making the big YouTube money.
For a
yeah.
little bit more, you can get that badass Dell 43-inch monster.
Yeah. We were talking about that. We want one of them.
Yeah, I think it's gangster.
All right, so that's I guess our first take on the Xbox One X. Mostly negative. I'm not surprised.
Mostly. I think it's a piece of shit.
I mean, Uber's gonna get it anyways, so I can't say we're all completely negative. Like he's gonna.
Well,
do
hey,
it, so.
EA Access is a game changer for me, honestly. EA Access and the Elite controller, those are the two things I honestly like the most
Yeah,
about
but you already own Xbox One X.
That's
True.
that's my thing is that you're gonna drop $500.
So you're
For the
gonna.
Well,
same
I'm
games
I'm
and the
selling
same
little
servers.
Jimmy my Xbox One S
I was
for
just going to say,
$200.
since you don't care about money, why don't you just gift me that Xbox One S?
and
I
then
need
buy
something to use as a backstop for my targets.
Yeah, then me and buy one from me and Baker. Then we all can join up on what game will we all play on Xbox? Nothing. Never mind.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
there's- yeah.
We'll play Uncharted. Oh, maybe
Yeah.
we'll play Horizon. Oh. Shit.
Forza, I'm telling you guys,
Nah.
Forza.
I play racing game with you, dude, but I'm not playing on Xbox. Sorry. I'll just put a video card in my PC and I'll play Forza 7 on my PC because it's not a fucking console exclusive.
Yeah,
another
that's
reason,
true.
another reason not to buy a fucking Xbox. Play the game on
All right,
PC.
so that's what we think about the Xbox One X. Moving on to our favorite console here, PS4. Kind of some fighting words here from somebody. Panther, tell us all about it.
This motherfucker. I had said he was the shining light of EA Play's fucking conference, other than the Battlefront 2 footage. This guy was the shining light. But fuck this guy. He comes out saying that the PlayStation 4 is like a 5-year-old PC holding back game development. This is the guy from Hazelight, that created the new game called The Way Out, which I was interested in. It's a co-op only game. I was thinking, hey, maybe me and the wife can sit down and we can play this, or I can play it with someone online as a buddy. So it looks like interesting concept. Until I read this article.
Like Prison Break, right?
Yeah, you break out of prison, and there's like a big story to it. Like, and there's different ways the game can be played, and like you play from different viewpoints, and like I was like, this is pretty damn cool. But then he comes out and shits all over the PlayStation, saying that it's holding back game development. Well, the fucking Xbox One X, or the Xbox One, when it was launched, was fucking like 2 steps behind the PlayStation 4. He never mentions it once.
Yep.
So, like I understand developing for consoles for some people because maybe their game engines, maybe the access to the stuff they use, maybe they previously were only doing PCs. I get that maybe developing for consoles may not be as easy as some things. But now that the consoles run on PC architecture, it's basically the same thing. Unless you're using an older game engine or some of the stuff that you've developed in the past was strictly PC, so it's definitely going to be a change because there's still limitations to consoles. And I'm a console fan, but I also understand that PCs are more powerful. PCs can do more things. I get it. I'm a console gamer, but I'm also a PC guy as well. So I get it from both sides. But him to come out with this kind of statement to specifically point out that PlayStation is holding back game development is bullshit.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can say firmly that he is correct because this console came out 5 years ago. So he's correct in the actual architecture, the hardware of it, how they're built. Yes, it's several years old in its technology, and they don't change because you don't upgrade them every year unless you try to do an in-between console, motherfuckers. So yeah, I mean, but I don't know. It's like this guy's brand new to making games because that like consoles don't change their architecture. Like when you develop for a console, that's what you have to work with.
Right.
So I don't.
All he had to say is consoles are 5 to 7 years behind PC technology, because it's true. I mean, they are.
Well, and that's why I led with that first, because he is correct. Yes. Exactly.
I don't know why he singled out the PS4 there. That doesn't make any sense to me, because the Xbox One is, if you compare PS4 to stock Xbox One, the PS4 is a superior product, right? And
yeah.
So
in the hierarchy of consoles, what we currently have right now, PS4 is more powerful than Xbox One, and then the PS4 Pro is more powerful than the Xbox One S. So in both categories, in their original release and their upgraded form, PlayStation has the more powerful console.
100%, and that's just the way consoles are. I mean, they do have a longer life cycle, I guess, than PC is ever evolving. I mean, it goes month to month really on PC. Yep. And Sony and Microsoft, you can't keep up. I know they're trying to do that now with these in between consoles, but I think it's smarter to really just plan for a 6-year window. Build the best system you can, and then have it out there for 6 years and develop games for it. But I mean, that's just, I don't know, Captain Obvious to me. It's like, he's not lying, but I don't know why he's singling out the PS4 there. Why he's specifically targeting.
And the point of saying a holding back game development is, I don't know, man. Like, how can you say that when you look at the games, like the quality of the fucking games that come in? Look at the end of the life cycle of PlayStation 3. The Last of Us and Grand Theft Auto 5 came out right at the end of the life cycle of PlayStation 3, and they were the best looking fucking games on PlayStation. So how long was the
Absolutely.
PS3 around? And they finally got the fucking ounces of the last of it out of it with those two games.
Right.
So with the PlayStation 4, yes, it's probably the development's probably cycle's a little quicker because of the fact that the hardware is a lot different. It's PC based, so things may be different for development. I'm not a developer, but understanding what the basis of developing, considering the CPU architecture, they build things on on computers anyways. Everything's built on PCs or Macs or whatever. Everything's built on a computer, right? And then it's the engines run it down on a console. So I understand his statement, but for him to say it's holding back game development, I don't think that's really true. And this guy's not even a AAA developer. He's a fucking indie guy.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a second. It probably is. Having to make sure that the games that he's developing can run on a base model PS4 and a base model Xbox One probably is holding back the development of their game. But like, nothing's changed. It was like that when the PS3s were around. It was like
Exactly.
that when the PS2s were around.
Yeah, that's
Nothing's
exactly
changed.
what I was
And if anything,
pointing at.
if we're gonna go further with this, I don't like mid-generation consoles
Right.
because all it's really doing is, and not necessarily separating the player base, but it makes the developer's job harder.
Yep.
In my opinion, like, put out your PS4, and when it's time to go to the 5, if you want to do it every 5 years, do it every fucking 5 years. But don't. I don't see the point in putting out something that, because you can't, unless you're gonna make a game that's specifically and only for this mid-version console, which literally does divide the player base. You're cutting.
They're not
yourself
allowed
out
to
of
do
money.
that, I don't think.
Right, and most developers aren't, because they're gonna lose out on millions of dollars in sales from people that don't fucking have that console. It doesn't make any
Right.
sense to me. I don't understand the point of doing it. This dude is just probably saying some shit that developers have been thinking for a long time. Like, man, I wish consoles ran like today's PCs. Well, you know what, dude? They don't. They fucking don't. And
That's
they never
just not how
have.
it
They never
works.
have,
And
and
they
they
never
never
will.
will.
No,
That's not
because
how it works.
Exactly.
So
Because you can't upgrade
either
your
only develop
console.
for the PC,
Yeah.
or shut the fuck up and just get on with it.
Because you can't upgrade. You can't upgrade your console every 6 months with another fucking $1,000 video card.
Right. So you're
cost.
you're either okay with developing for that player base and making that money, or you're pissed off and you're not. But pick one of those two roads and just fucking drive down it. Like,
to
don't bitch
come
about
out
it,
and
'cause
say the PS4 is like a 5-year-old PC it's
literally
only
is
a
5-year-old
factual
PC.
statement.
Like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
It's only a factual statement. There's no logical leap from there.
Right.
Like, it's the 5-year-old PS4 is a 5-year-old system,
Yeah.
and water is wet.
Yeah.
Right.
In other news, air is up.
Yeah.
Sky is up.
And going back to the Xbox One X, they said there weren't going to be Xbox One X exclusives. I mean, every game that's going to come out there is also going to be available on the Xbox One.
Right.
Yep.
So I think Microsoft is not even allowing developers to truly, make a game that really shows off just the Xbox One X without making a companion game
Yep.
for the Xbox One. So why would developers pump all this money into just upscaling a game? Basically, they're also going to have to make a version for the Xbox One or PS4 compared to the PS4 Pro. So yeah, it's just
We're gonna fall back into that old adage where things were made for the PS3, the 360, the PS4, and the Xbox One.
Yep.
So they're gonna have to say, well, we got to develop, and then PC. So we got to develop for 5 fucking console or 5 gaming platforms again. Like, that
6
was
actually.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Well,
6.
and even if you remove, let's
Well, the
remove
Switch doesn't
consoles from
count.
the conversation
No,
entirely.
not the Switch.
what?
Right.
Well, you've got the Xbox One, you've got PS4, Xbox One S, PS4 Pro,
Yeah,
Xbox
well, the
One
S is-
X.
Yeah, the S
And then
isn't
PC.
really. It's more of their slim model. It's a little slightly upgraded. It's not a full
Right.
on. Like, it's not. Yeah.
It's not a full quote upgrade.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
it's-
but there are advantages to having it over.
Yeah. Okay. Right. If
an
you want to
Xbox.
say that, but yeah.
So
I'm
for
saying, like,
me, it's a different version of the game because it's got
Certainly.
different
It
capabilities.
requires different content.
well, they use
to a
an
certain extent.
example, and they use an example here in the article is Shadow of Mordor. On the current gen consoles and PC, we got a Nemesis system, which is kind of the entire point of the game. For PS3 and 360 versions, the Nemesis system was stripped out entirely.
Yep.
Because, well, yeah, but how fucking old were those systems?
Yeah.
So, right. So
Yeah, and that's your bad for developing for a 10-year-old console.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I get you want to get that money, but
Well, and if we go back a generation or two in gaming architecture, like if I made a game and made it compatible with PlayStation 2, and then in an interview I was like, it's really holding back game development that I'm developing for this. Like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen?
why are you developing for it?
So this guy that's making this guy at Hazelight, if he doesn't want to develop for consoles, take your shit to PC only and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, even that, like I was just getting ready to say, let's remove consoles from the conversation entirely and develop only for PC. So are you telling me that you're only going to develop your game to run on something with 16 gigs of RAM and a 1080 Ti?
Yeah.
You're not going to let it run on anything
until
with a
6 months
1050?
from now.
So
Yeah.
so you're still going to cut your player base by you can never develop for only the latest and greatest shit. You can't.
No, it's
As
impossible.
a developer, that's a stupid mindset to have.
Exactly,
Yep.
because then also too, you're gonna make your drivers work for an NVIDIA. You're gonna make it work for ATI.
Yeah,
So-
because if you're making a dude go from a 1050 to a 1080, you're telling that guy he has to go buy an Xbox One X because that's how much they fucking cost.
Yeah. So right there, I understand part of his point.
He's
I get
bad
it.
and he should feel bad.
He's
I'm
just
closing
go,
this
he's
article.
just
I
go
don't want to
fuck
talk about it
himself.
anymore.
Jonathan Fairs or Jose Fair, or fuck your name is. Go fuck yourself.
Whoa. Don't be taking my thunder, dog.
I take the thunder, man. We're not the end of the podcast, pal. We're all right.
All right, let's move it to some good news for doing work here. Tell us what you're celebrating.
Oh my gosh. All right, does your soundboard have The Rock from WWE saying finally on it?
Probably not, and I don't have the time to look, so you're going to get the
Shit.
applause that I did from the start.
Oh my gosh. I feel like it's like Activision and The Rock coming out of backstage. Finally. So way back when, I told you guys that eventually COD 4 Remaster was going to come out as a standalone. There's too much money to be made, and finally, 9 months later, it has been confirmed. It is coming out on the 27th, so Tuesday, basically. $40, a little steep in my opinion. I feel like 25 is probably right where I'd have been at.
Yep.
And if you want the DLCs that are for it, which are the remastered map packs, those are an additional 15. So now you're talking $55. That's basically a new game.
Yep.
Like I said, I'd have gone 25 and 5 for a total of 30, but I'm still gonna get it because fuck yeah.
You're going to pull an Uber and just throw money. Sure.
Ah man, I cut my teeth on that was my first like big console shooter on the PS3. Man, I played the piss out of that game. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. It's very simple. If there's any Call of Duty that I would ever recommend someone try, it's this one.
Yeah,
It's
fair enough.
very good. It's very polished. It's not overly complicated, and I hope some of you assholes will get it and play with me.
No.
I'll get it.
Of course you will.
Did you
He's gonna get it on Switch.
did you
I already
watch
talked my
the-
son out of college,
Did you
so
watch
it's no biggie.
the Devolver E3?
Yes.
Uber?
Did everybody in here watch that?
I did not.
Oh
I
my
didn't see it.
gosh!
Dude, you have got to watch that.
You
the Devolver
have
Digital
to.
press conference.
Yeah.
You like this game. You want this game. You will buy this game. Buy this motherfucking game.
I'm just
Easily
checking.
the
I'm just
best.
checking Amazon.ca, and I don't see anything about COD Formula Master being sold separately.
IGN had this article up
Yeah.
two days ago as of the recording of this podcast.
Yeah, it's on Forbes as well.
Yeah. So
There's nothing
it's
to see
legit.
for us. Oh, I know. I'm just looking to see if there's a listing. I can buy an Infinite Warfare PS4 Legacy Edition used for $43. I'm thinking, so that's a waste of $43.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right, we'll move on to another shooter here.
Yeah.
Battlefield 1 has promised a deeper progression system. And that headline, don't get excited. Because what we have is 3 minutes of a brief interview with a producer at DICE LA, Andrew Gulata. And what he said in this brief interview was really just snippets of information. He didn't go into any type of detail other than to say that there will be new assignments and there will be quote-unquote specializations. Now, this could be similar to how Battlefield 4 was set up with like your group or your squad perks, how you could run for like sprint or extra ammo, etc. It's probably going to be similar to something like that, but he said it's something that we haven't seen before. So they love to throw out phrases like that to get people excited, but they said by the headline, deeper progression system promised, and then I hear assignments, and I'm immediately like, that's a fucking lie. Like, giving me new things to do is not necessarily progression.
Unless
You know what
those
I mean?
assignments unlock certain things.
They don't, as far as I'm aware, unless
Well.
they're going to throw more dog tags into the game.
Oh, God.
But they're definitely not unlocking more content for you to use in the game. So the point of progression, you know, is usually to unlock stuff. I just don't see it. And
Yeah,
from
I
the
think-
information we have, as a gamer, as a consumer, for me, this is not actual progression from what he's said in this specific interview.
Yeah,
Panther, what were you going to say?
I think their terms of progression is different than what we deem as progression.
Yeah,
I think.
I think so too.
I don't know. Like they've done such a great job on the look, the sound, like the servers weren't shit. You know, the game was launched solid. It was good. It had lots of maps. Like Battlefront failed because it had no maps. Guns and scopes and that shit. Yeah, okay. They're lacking, and I agree with you on that. I mean, they've added more stuff to the game. You know, they've done that. They've added, you know, there's some more new weapons, and they've done some stuff like that. That last DLC, they gave us the night map, and you know, there's another night map coming. Like, I mean, they're doing stuff to improve the game to get people back interested in it. And now that my arm is getting better, and hopefully I get into some longer gaming sessions, I'm going to get back into Battlefield 1. I'm wanting to try that night map. I've watched some gameplay. It looks fucking awesome.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to seeing what more they're going to add to the game. Like I said, we've always, right off the bat, was one of the things we said was progression. And like I said, their terms of progression may be different than ours. But I don't know, like long as they're not going to just walk away from this and just kind of say, well, here's your map pack next, you know, here's your next map pack, fuck you, here's your next map pack, we're done with you. Like, this is the thing. It seems like this is the most they've seen to develop for a game in its life cycle over just standard DLC.
Yeah, that's true. I will concede that, yes, but to the end of, you know, they are adding things and they're tinkering as they always do with
Right.
balance and all that stuff. But the actual end product, you know, have they added things that significantly make this game better? I can't say so. No.
No, not in the depth and progression
Yeah.
that, you know, we're
And
used to with
progression,
some
as
releases.
we've beat that horse over and over and over again. In the Battlefield podcast prior to 4-player co-op and even in 4-player co-op, you know, we've talked about it. Progression and lack of content is the problem here, and content is the end goal of progression. You progress to get things, to unlock stuff, to use different things, to customize or whatever the end goal is. You know, whatever the item is. Progression is a means to get to something. And when they say progression and then they say assignments, I'm thinking similar to medals and ribbons. You know, you have to do A, B, and C, and when you complete those, you get something shiny, and they call that progression. And for me, that's bullshit. I don't feel like that progresses my gaming experience. Like, I just checking the boxes for me is not progression. You know?
No.
So I don't know. He said it's something we haven't seen before, so it's not going to follow the model of any of the other games. So I'm not completely writing it off, despite being totally negative in my reaction right now. It makes me mad when they use phrases like this because I feel like it's disingenuous.
I agree.
Work, any input on that? I know you haven't been in.
I
Battlefield
think after we get done with this podcast, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and uninstall Battlefield 1. I really don't give a shit.
Wow.
I keep looking at it. I'm like, I should play it. Then I'm like, no, I shouldn't. I don't. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think it's
Baker?
it's cheesy. I don't know.
I think me and you should play it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play it. I every once in a while, I do. I say probably every maybe once or twice a month. Very rarely. Just because, again, after you level up so many times, there's nothing else to do, and the tasks that they want you to do to unlock the new weapons from the DLC are bullshit. I haven't unlocked a single DLC weapon.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I paid for this content, and I can't access it without jumping through 14 different loops up and down and sideways and backwards, and
I think this is the fastest that all of us have been dissatisfied with a Battlefield game.
I agree.
Even with all the shenanigans that were going on with 4 at launch,
Yeah.
like we all stuck with it for way longer.
Well, and the interesting point is that the reason we stuck with it was because there was still so much to do.
Yeah.
We never felt like we were at the end of the game until
Yeah.
a long time later.
Yeah, like I got all my classes to rank 10 in Battlefield 1 and just stopped. I was like, all right,
Exactly.
what am I
You hit
doing
the
now?
wall when there's
Fuck
nothing
it.
else to do.
I guess I'll run around and shoot these people on the same old map again. And I'm at the point where I don't want to pay money just for new areas to shoot the same people. Like
Yep.
it doesn't do it for me anymore.
Yep. I agree.
Holla, Uber, how's that Switch, bro?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, just to.
It is my premier toilet gaming
Yeah.
experience.
I love it. Even better than Clash Royale.
Well,
work. That was
do you play Clash?
that was a very smooth way to switch the conversation.
Oh snap!
Oh, oh! I wish you guys could see the meme in my head. You know that one where there's all the people and the one black kid put his hands on his face. That's the meme that's
Yeah.
going through my mind right now.
Might be a slight overreaction. All right, so Uber, talk to us. This is something that we all probably knew, but just
Yeah.
to go ahead and say it out loud.
That's a quick one.
Go for
Sean Layden at Sony has made it clear that there will be a PS5.
Yeah.
He also said the smartphone style approach will not take over. So, kind of what we've been talking about. That's good news.
I
Yes.
think loosely translated, he just said "fuck the Switch." Just want to-
Good.
no, like
It's
not as a joke. I
paraphrasing.
really think that's a like we're not gonna do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It definitely
Maybe not necessarily.
probably a shot at
At the Switch
Nintendo for sure.
specifically, but definitely saying like we're not going to move in the direction of a quote mobile gaming experience. Like we are a sit on your couch and play your fucking game company, and that's what we're going to do.
True. I think also what he's saying by that is that they're not going into like a biannual release of a console kind of thing, right?
Like
That's
with
what-
the PS4 Pro thing.
Well, they'll still do that, small upgrades, to their consoles,
Yeah,
but
probably. Sadly, I think that's probably the market and how it's going to stay.
Yeah,
they're right. But he also mentioned that it's going to be quite some time before we see the PS5, which I am 100% fine with.
Sure.
well,
I
it says
still
sometime.
feel the PS4 is still new to me. I mean, it's still very like recent. I don't know.
Well, PS3 was 10 years, 12 years, 13 years it ran before we got a PS4.
Yep. No, well,
Yeah.
not before we got a PS4. No.
About 8-9 years, right? It came out in 2006, I believe. The PS3 did, and then the PS4 came out when?
Yeah.
2013,
14, I think. 13 or 14.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so 8 or 9 years.
almost, yeah, 8 or 9 years. Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
if we go 5 to 7 years between main console, like as a cycle, that's about right.
Yes, I'm
about right.
100% fine with
So
that.
we're like halfway there, almost.
Yeah. I'm good with another solid 2-3 years of the
Yeah.
PS4.
I was gonna guess 2020. We'll probably see it.
Yeah. Yep,
Yeah.
that's about right.
Start saving your pennies, folks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay,
open
so
up a
yeah,
separate
like-
savings account just for a new console.
Yeah. So no news that we didn't know was coming.
Just official.
But it's official. Yes.
Well, he also says 2 other things that are very interesting and concrete in here. That there will never be a time when a game runs on the PS4 Pro but not on a regular PS4.
That's good.
Yeah.
And he reinforces the idea that people who have a standard PS4 will experience no quote real disadvantages going forward. I interpret that to mean there will be no PS4 Pro advantage as far as quote pay to win.
Yeah. True.
Like the advantage is going to be it looks better.
Yes.
Faster at loading games, etc., etc. But once you're in the game, you're still on equal footing.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I'm good with that. I like
Yeah,
it.
that's good.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
So this will actually I'll throw back to a second or for a second to one of our earlier topics here. with the talk of the Xbox One X, the PS4 Pro, the mid-releases for the consoles that we've been seeing, this is going to take a curious place in the market. We could see PlayStation 5 come out 2, maybe even 3 years before we see the next actual Xbox console. Based on these development cycles that we're in right now, PS5 is in the works. You can guarantee it because it takes probably 3 to 5 years to get everything set up. So you can guarantee that when he says there will be a PS5, we won't see it for a while. We're working on it right now.
Yeah, sure.
Xbox hasn't even released the Xbox One X yet.
Nope.
So they're still finalizing production. Now, they've got all their specs set and everything like that, but they haven't ramped out the production. And at the earliest possible stage of development for the very next Xbox after that is they're probably looking at like just probably even just a single component of where to start and some type of design, but they're probably nowhere near right now where the PlayStation 5 is going to be in its development cycle.
Not after what they've done going with the Xbox One X development.
Yeah.
So
So if we say in probably 3 years, 2020, if we say that's a safe bet to see the PS5, we can bet that the Xbox One or the Xbox 2 maybe, whatever they want to call this one, the Xbox One X ABC, that's probably not going to come out for several years, based on the development cycles.
I don't know. I wouldn't say. I'd say there'll be a year. There might be a separation, but if this console jump is going to be that big of a console jump, they would fucking fail hard if they don't have one committed at the same time.
If they don't have an answer, or even close, like within a year.
We've seen gaps though between them. The PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One didn't come out at the same time. The PS3 and the Xbox didn't come out at the same time.
Yeah, but there wasn't a big space between the two of them, though.
Yeah, it was a couple of months between the 3 and the 360, right? But the PS4 and the 1 was a bit longer.
Yes, it was a bit longer.
Like several 8 or 9 months.
Really? No.
Yeah, close to a year, I thought.
The PS4 and the 1, they came out close. Like
they were close. I felt like the 360 to the PS3 was a longer gap.
Yeah, that was a long gap. Yeah,
that was like about a year, I believe.
Let me see.
I'm curious now because I know, being the person that I am.
Oh, you guys are absolutely right. It was a week later.
Oh,
wow.
What about 360 to PS3?
That was a bit different.
I felt like that was like a year.
Yeah, maybe that's the one that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because it was they came out within a week of each other. So I don't think Microsoft is sitting back. I think I figure now that the development team, once the X gets out and launched and everything's in the market hard, they're going to switch. Their development guys are probably going to be doing Xbox 2 shit. But here's my next thing now. For anybody that knows now that there's this mid-console update, is people going to fucking hold off on buying a new console till the Pro version comes out?
No, I don't think so.
Some people always think, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to, because I'm not going to. I mean, the Pro version.
Yeah, that's what it was. The PS3 came out almost a year, 10 days shy of a year later than the 360.
Yeah, so that's it. And they
I think at this point, if we say the standard development cycle for a console is 3 to 5 years, and they usually announce about 3 years out or so, 2 years. If we say that that's the case, then we already have confirmed and know that it's going to be that it's already being worked on and developed. So within a year, they'll have their architecture down probably. They'll start doing the final designs and like confirming a design for the actual box itself and everything. And they'll probably have everything finalized within 2 years and then slowly start production up. I think that'd be pretty safe based on our timeline. Xbox, as it stands now, hasn't announced. They haven't even released their next iteration of their console. I don't think that they're really going to start getting to this point where PlayStation is now for at least another year and a half. So
well,
again,
now, I mean, on their console, at the console half-life cycle, they're a year behind.
Yeah.
So you honestly think they're going to wait 1 year to release the next console?
Not on purpose, but I think if the advantage that they could possibly go for, and this is what they're trying right now with the Xbox One X, is they might wait to see what PS4 or PS5 announces as its hardware, so they can up the ante and make a more powerful console.
Yeah, so that's the only thing.
You know,
That's what they're doing with the Xbox One X right now.
I just thought about that. I was like, you know, it gives them a guaranteed automatic selling point. Like, this console is going to be 40% more powerful than the current whatever.
Yeah, and there would be nothing that the PS5 could do about it.
Right, because unless they do a mid-gen update.
PS5 Pro.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which like we were talking about earlier, is goofy because the technology is going to be that much newer, which automatically means it's going to be better.
Yep.
But AAA developers are still going to have to develop back to the older one any fucking way.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm anticipating this going in the next few years, is that PS5 is going to announce its hardware architecture, and at that time we'll have confirmed that there's another Xbox coming out, and they're going to start looking at better hardware, so that it's a given now that the Xbox next generation is going to come out later than the PS5. They will most likely accept waiting and coming out later to have the more powerful console out of the gate, because they lost out on that this generation.
I don't know. Like I said, to me it's not a big deal because I can't see me switching. You know,
well, I'm not saying that it's a big deal either way. This is my guess based on our current market.
I get your point, but like
on.
I said, it's still it's a little risky of a move, because especially games that come out on you know. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it's kind of a smart play, but it's also pretty risky.
Well, it could be, but that's their play with the Xbox One X right now. That's exactly what they're doing. Is they're focusing on power instead of content. So if they try to play that same card, it's right now proving that like this isn't working. They're 30 million units behind, on their current generation sales. Now this Xbox One X, which we really just shit on a few minutes ago, this is a very niche market that they're going for, and it's the super rich that games. That's not the majority of the market.
Here. Yeah, very super rich, you lying bitch.
That's just, it's not the majority of the market.
No,
they're not going to make hand over fist. They're
not going to sell 30 million
Xbox
One X's.
No, and not before the PS5 hits, I don't think. No. But either way, I don't know. I just thought, because we had talked about that a little while ago, that it was an interesting theory, at least, that I wanted to get out there.
Yeah, I'm glad you said it. I was going to jump in with something very similar to that, because that thought crossed my mind as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a shady marketing.
Let's move on.
I can't actually be better.
Yeah. I'm going to have to cut the podcast short. I want to hit just the next couple topics really quick, though. So, Panther, talk to us about douchebag Spencer and his
Fuck,
Xbox
you want this
One.
to be quick? Fuck Phil Spencer. There we go. So this motherfucker comes out, and I had a little bit of respect for Phil Spencer, because I think what he done over at Microsoft, he took over their game side, actually done something. He kind of took the shit that was really going on and kind of fixed it, even though I still don't buy Xbox. But he came out, and this is the article. He says, "I'm going to struggle to not get myself in trouble on this one." He said, "I'll just say it. I don't know anything about the development deals." Bullshit. You mentioned some things around clauses and stuff that I don't know anything about, but if anybody was to do a deal to hold back technical innovation on a video game anywhere else, and that doesn't feel that does good for the industry to me. So he's talking about how the Xbox One X, the Destiny 2 game, is only going to run locked at 30, because it says the PS4 Pro will only do it at 30, and since Bungie has development deal with Sony for having some extra content early on Destiny 2, that they're going to lock it on 30 frames on the Xbox One X, so the game doesn't run better on other hardware. So he basically says that the Xbox One X is being held back by PS4 deals.
Yeah.
So
the console that they're saying is superior is being held back by a competing console.
Right.
Is what he's saying.
Right. But it's been stated, and I mean, I don't know if it's 100% concrete fact, but they say Bungie locks their game at 30 on console because it runs better, plays better, looks better at 1080 30 than it will at 1080 60 because there's too many frame drops. It's not necessarily the console's fault. It's the game engine they use, because it's the same game engine they used for the first Destiny game.
Yep.
The PC version, because Destiny 2 is on PC, the PC version was built completely separate from the console version. So the PC version will run, I think it's unlocked. Whatever your machine will run it at, it'll run it.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's built on a different game engine. So this guy comes out, and right like the same week that they launched their fucking $500 console, he immediately starts fucking trying to shit on the competition. That's no fucking class at all. Sony doesn't do that shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because they don't have to.
It's disingenuous once again.
Yeah.
You know that we see from this guy is because the developer has said we locked it. That's not Sony. That's not anything to do with PS4 or PS4 Pro or PS2, whatever you want to blame it on.
Yep.
It's not the console itself, it's
Right.
the developer.
Right. Because that's, I mean, if you want to say that the same thing can be said about when the Xbox One fucking launched, considering a lot of their games on the first launch, a lot of them are stuck at 900 at 30. And I mean, yeah, some shit only runs 720 30 or 1080 30 on PS4, but a lot more games running at 1080 30 stably locked 100% than fucking Xbox One had 930 shit. So they had some 1080 content. A lot of their first party stuff run 1080 no problem, but there was third party shit run at 900. So how could you fucking shit on the PS4, which has thumped you, and I'm talking original, thumped you in like originally launched, it was a better console, and fucking trumped you in fucking sales and exclusives. More people want to develop for the console, but yet you make one fucking shiny turd, and all of a sudden you're being held back. Go fuck yourself, Phil Spencer.
That's exactly why they can say that thing. Because what have you done for us lately?
Yeah.
That's in the past. Look at this new thing we have. It's better.
Yeah. Like I said, the Xbox One X is, like I said, yeah, the technical, but it's impressive. But why? Who the fuck cares? I know I don't. I know 3 out of 4 of this podcast don't give a fuck.
Well, no, it's impressive it's impressive just for the sake of being impressive. It's not because it's a necessary step. It's
right,
not because
that's what I'm saying.
with the
Technically,
market it's a sure thing. It's not even a good gamble for me. I would say business wise, like from a monetary perspective, I don't see them making their money back. I don't see this being a good investment because again, the market they're catering to is the super rich that game, and that's not the majority of the market. So when you cater to the only a tiny percent of people, you're limiting how many. I mean, and that's what you're gonna get, a tiny percent. You know, like it's this is not for everybody. This is not for most people. This isn't even for a lot of people. This is targeted at the few, so they're gonna sell few.
Yeah, like I said, he goes on in this article. Like I said, I'll link this article in like the description as always. And like I said, he goes on to talk about other development deals and stuff. Well, fuck Microsoft. They're the ones that had Tomb Raider, Rise of Tomb Raider, locked to their fucking platform for a year. So don't go saying about because because PlayStation gets an extra strike and a fucking 2 extra guns or some shit.
I mean, let's not talk about how many versions of Call of Duty were exclusive to the Xbox for like the DLCs for a month or whatever. Like it was crazy.
Yeah. I think the game developers getting kind of forced to give certain things to certain players or to certain consoles because of money kind of fucking sucks for both sides. And I think it needs to stop.
Yeah.
Give me the fucking. It's one thing if they're going to release the game gets released on PlayStation 4 one week and then Xbox the next. That's not a big deal. But if I'm paying, I'll use the US funds. I'm paying $60 for Destiny 2, and you're paying $60 for Destiny 2, and I'm on Xbox and I get less content. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like I'm not shitting on Sony for doing it. I'm shitting on both sides because both have done it.
I'd shit on developers.
Well, I mean, they're walking in, and when someone walks into your fucking business and offers you fucking wads of cash to help the development cycle of your game, it's kind of hard to go, both middle fingers, fuck yourself.
I get it.
They're all to blame, and that's part of it. But for him to come out and say that, oh, because of PlayStation 4 deals were getting held back is bullshit.
Well, and it's to paraphrase and make it sound as silly as it actually is. If Phil Spencer had said the Xbox One X is going to be potentially held back because of PS4 exclusive games, like that's
Yeah,
like
right.
that's what he's saying. Like our console's not going to do as well because PS4 has exclusives.
Most of
Yeah.
all.
That's as stupid as his statement actually is, just phrased differently.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget that Bungie originally developed Halo back in Xbox's glory days.
Yep.
And they dicked around and they treated Bungie very poorly. This is all public information, and all of those dudes bailed, and now they have made this amazing franchise in Destiny that they have, and they're playing ball with Sony. Like,
Yep.
Turnabout's fair play.
Yep.
You brought this on yourself, Microsoft. If they hadn't treated those dudes like shit, things could be different.
That's right.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that's the whole reason why, but I'm not foolish enough to think that that's not part of it.
But all sides are to blame. So, like I said,
Absolutely.
It's not one finger getting pointed everywhere. I mean, everyone's to blame. It needs to stop. Like I said, if it's cosmetic or whatever, we don't give a shit. But if it's actual in-game content, and I mean, it kind of hurts us in a way on PlayStation side with the Destiny content because the strike we get, we can only play it on PlayStation. So that means in the weekly, like the weeklies and the nightfalls, it's never going to be there.
It's
for
never
going
going
to
to be in the rotation. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
Yeah, because it's not because the content's the same for on all three platforms now, unless they start doing something exclusive for content drop. Like that's even more confusing.
Yeah, and like for the longest time, you knew for sure that Xur was never going to sell a Hawkmoon because Xbox players couldn't buy it,
Right.
or whatever the other one was.
Yeah, the other machine gun. Yeah, so right. So now it's the same thing for the new content. So it kind of becomes a bit of a even because a lot of that rewards is RNG based. So anything that's based on RNG rewards, you're also hindered because then it's not an option to actually just go and purchase it with in-game credit. So so I mean, it's like fuck off, just stop this bullshit. But don't be blaming exclusive deals and content exclusive deals on fucking holding back your piece of shit console.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck you, Phil Spencer.
Yeah, it's weird that the success of the PS4 is what they're pointing their finger at and saying why we're not successful. Like I don't know. Like these guys, like Microsoft is to blame, and they're being held back because of poor marketing decisions and poor design decisions.
Yep.
And that's the meat of it right there. That's 80% of why Microsoft has had inferior console sales.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we'll move on. Work, talk to us about Anthem. This is a new IP, right?
Yeah, it is. We saw some really interesting, albeit short, I guess it wasn't too short, gameplay at E3 during the Xbox demo or press conference. And I mean, it's EA BioWare's like direct shot across the bow to Destiny. It's and they've said that it's a 10-year IP. Destiny is a 10-year IP. Like they are legit going for Bungie and Destiny's jugular on this.
They want that Bungie money.
I'm good with it because as much competition is only good for us, the players, in this situation. Because I love to see games coming out in different iterations of the series, making the next version better across the board. You know what I mean? I think it's great.
Yeah.
Anthem looks really cool. I hope it's more than just good looking. I hope we don't have a Battlefield 1 situation on our hand where it looks really great but it sucks. But I don't know, man. I mean, I played Dragon Age and some other BioWare stuff, so I'm not gonna say that I trust them, quote unquote, but I'm hopefully optimistic that Anthem's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, for someone like me, and I'm the oddball out here, I dropped out of Destiny almost immediately, so a competing, somewhat similar. I mean, maybe Anthem is going to do enough right to pull me in, and maybe I'll get into this one. I don't know. We'll see, I guess, when more details get released.
Yeah, well, it was the RPG element of it that you did not like. Is that right?
I like RPGs. It was the forced 100% of the time social interaction, whether I liked it or not.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
It was
So,
it was having random people jump in my game and determining how I play my game. I didn't like that.
and they haven't addressed that yet. So
Yeah,
you know,
so-
who knows? It looks to be similar, but we don't know. It's still very early. We don't know yet.
Yeah, they're talking like holiday next fucking year. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a ways away.
it's apparently it's 2018, but there's no date. People are talking like end of, like a year
Yeah.
away at least.
I'm
So-
still excited though. It looks cool.
Yeah, from what I'm saying, but anyone that watched the E3 press conference, it's got that cringe-worthy gamer talk like that Ubisoft's horribly known for. People kept saying, "Is this a Ubisoft game?" because the way they do the gamer interactions. There was a video on YouTube, and I posted in the chat. I don't know if anyone watched it, but someone done like a voiceover for how real gamers would talk. And I'm gonna link it in the description because it actually was pretty funny. Like it actually kind of sounded like how when we talk when we game to a point. It's pretty funny. So anyone that watched the actual Anthem E3 press conference, check the description and watch the one I'm linking underneath the Anthem article because it's worth a watch. It was pretty funny in my opinion.
Sweet.
But,
All right, so we're going to move on to the final topic for tonight. We still have more that we could cover, but we're running short on time here, so I'm going to go ahead and call it. The last topic we will talk about is For Honor, which Doing Work alluded to
You guys
earlier.
remember that? Remember I told you to tuck that away? Let's go ahead and pull that back out.
We're going to pull it out, and we're going to beat it around a little bit.
I want you guys to remember that it said it was the
Always
second
pull out.
most popular, second most purchased. Is that what it was?
Yes.
It was something to do with lots of them being sold, which is very contradictory.
For the year so far, the two highest-selling games have been Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands and For Honor. So now, knowing that, if you guys remember the stumble of another Ubisoft game, The Division, it lost 93% of its player base in its first 3 months. We have now the biggest bomb
winner,
we've seen.
chicken dinner.
Yes, you have won at losing. 3 months after Ubisoft's biggest launch of 2017, For Honor has surpassed one of 2016's biggest bombs. That was the Division that I just talked about. It lost 95% of its player base on Steam. So
That's mind-blowing.
that is unbelievable. That's
Yeah.
crazy. So currently a 95% drop. Let me see, what did it have when it launched? It had, actually, and in the beta too. The beta had, I think, almost 60,000 concurrent players during the beta, and then at launch it peaked just under 40,000. So after
Yeah.
people got a taste of it in the beta, less people bought it.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
gave them a
opposite of
taste,
what
and they were
should
like,
do.
you know what? I don't like this flavor. I'm out.
Yeah, but
this
almost
tastes like plumber ass crack. I'm done.
yeah, it sold well for the first couple weeks, but yeah, once you get into March, it's now under 20,000, and then the concurrent players as of Saturday. And when was this posted though?
June
I don't see
5th.
it. It was posted, June 5th. So, yeah, actually, as of about a month ago. So you can imagine only these numbers have gone down since then. But as of last
June 5th.
month, there was 3.4 thousand concurrent players.
So basically,
crazy.
like John and Tim are the only two fucking people playing this game.
Well, pretty much. These are going to be the final stalwart, the last bastion of hardcore players for Honor. Or, just over 3,000 of them as of a month ago. So if you imagine, probably at least 500 have dropped off, maybe 1,000 more. Wow. Yeah.
Well, it's not good. It's not good. Like, I played the beta, and it's just 3 different classes.
there's a
fighting each
lot.
other. It's
There's
just-
a lot
it's-
of characters in the game, like different. Like each class has a couple different characters, but in the final launch, I had high hopes for the game. I played the beta, and the worst thing is the one where you can play with your friends and kind of do a siege against the CPU. It's kind of fun, but I can see that getting old fast because the maps aren't very big. It's just a lot of run around in circles.
Right.
And going online, holy fuck! So yeah, if you don't spend all your fucking time online learning every fucking little intricate button press to save your fucking life, you get murdered.
Yeah.
Like-
There's
Yeah,
only
for-
pros left right now. Suffice to
Yeah,
say.
the learning
in the
curve
beta,
is
I
way
jumped on
real.
like a day later the beta, and there was already people that were just like totally like fucking smoking everybody.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
like-
Same story here, man.
How?
I played it for like 20 minutes and I was like, hard no, uninstall, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah, like
Well, because like if I don't like the kind of multiplayer games where because like I have a fucking family, I have a job, like I have a lot of stuff to do, and if I have to play it every day just to stay remotely competitive, I'm going to lose interest very quickly.
yeah.
Because I don't have the time to dedicate to a game that some of these cats do.
Yep.
You know,
And
sit,
I don't
you
like
know,
to
you
be
know, sit in
punished
front of your
for being an adult.
PlayStation with the 2 liters of Mountain Dew and a big bag of Doritos,
Yeah.
smoking weed and play video games all day. Come on, what's wrong with you? Fail at life. But yeah, man, like that's the thing. Like competitive multiplayer to that level, like
Got a shit
you know,
bucket.
shooters are one thing, but man, like you come to like this just fucking hand-to-hand combat shit. Like if you don't know every little counter, like you're fucked. And like there's no room for mid-level players because I don't know how
No.
the balancing is for meeting people online. But going up against someone that's got like even 2 more weeks into the game, you're gonna get your ass fucking handed to you.
Yep.
So yeah, that was.
So
that was
if
a
you,
bit-
if you don't grind relentlessly and train yourself to be a pro at this game, you will not succeed and you will have an awful time. And that's why so many people dropped off.
95%, and that's on Steam. I don't know what console.
Yeah, that's on Steam.
Yeah, but I mean, still, I can't imagine it being any better.
No. So yeah, just an unbelievably, incredibly awful drop.
That's nasty.
From being at launch one of the most successful Ubisoft titles ever, and
Yeah.
one of the highest sellers this year to date. To drop off like this is just wild.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, when you go from beta to launch and you have 36% less people at launch.
Yeah.
You know, your beta is typically a stress test / hype building event to hopefully encourage people to purchase this game, and
Yeah.
less people like bought it than played the fucking beta, and not everyone played the beta. Like that is
Yep.
not. It did not start off well.
No, not at all. And actually, I think that's pretty rare, at least as far as I can recall. I can't remember a beta actually
Outperforming
giving
a
people.
launch.
Yeah. The beta where like everyone's like, nah, this ain't for me.
Turning people off. Right?
Yeah, I don't remember, at least nothing in recent memory, anything like that happening. So yeah, just wild. What a ride.
Yeah.
And this was a game I was looking forward to actually for 2 years,
Yeah,
and
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't
Buy
even
it?
buy it because of
You
the
didn't buy
beta.
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember when you posted in the Slack that you were like, "Is anyone getting 400?" I was like, "Hell no." Did you play the beta? All right.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
did.
go out
I
and
enjoyed the beta, but I had the feeling that it was going to do exactly this. It was going to be only experts after at least 2
Yeah.
weeks, you know?
And this is what sucks about these games that are heavy multiplayer games that we don't play, is we don't know how good the fucking single player was.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a game like Titanfall 2, people keep saying, "Oh, the single player, even though it was short, was really good." It's like, well, I'm not buying the fucking game because I think it's COD with Max. You know,
Yeah.
like Call of Duty. All the
Yeah.
last Call of Duty, this Call of Duty
Well, you know,
campaign was
I'm
really
not-
good. Well, I'm not spending
I'm not-
$80 to play a fucking like a 6-hour campaign or an 8-hour
Yeah,
campaign.
time is money, right? So yeah, I was just going to say, how many people are going to spend $60 to $80 to entertain themselves for one day
Uber will.
on a video game? And yeah, I mean, I get you. Like, you know, a trip to a theme park can cost you that much, but I'm not going to remember playing Titanfall single player 5 or 6 years later. You know
Like
what I mean? Like, I'm
riding a
going to
roller
remember
coaster.
taking my kid on a roller coaster or
Right.
something.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm saying, like that's the thing is how like that's what sucks as a gamer that doesn't play every game because it's impossible. But that is the games you hear about going, "Oh man, like this game, the fucking single player was awesome." It's like, well, I don't like the fucking multiplayer, so I'm losing half of the game.
Yeah.
Like-
So tell them to release the single player standalone for $10 and I'll buy it.
I mean, that's a smart
Well,
move
fuck
for
'em.
developers, I think, for some
Yeah,
of those
absolutely.
games. Extra revenue.
For some of them, yeah. I'm actually, now that we bring it up, a tiny bit surprised. Not hugely, but a tiny bit surprised that we actually don't see multiplayer as a separate release. And it's something that a current game that 3 out of 4 of us love right now, Friday the 13th, it released multiplayer first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
single player.
It is being released in
Yeah.
sections. Yeah, now it's not going to
Yeah.
be a separate release, but we bought it knowing
yeah.
it was multiplayer only right now.
And you know it's doable because I mean, going back to Call of Duty 4, I have it installed on my PC, and if I want to play multiplayer or campaign mode, I have to launch 2 completely different programs. It's almost like they came on separate discs
Yeah.
They're completely different launchers, completely different pieces of software. It's like the
Yeah.
precedent's there.
Yeah. That's what I said. I'm actually, now that I think about it and we've brought it up, a little surprised that we don't see a little bit more of that in the market.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Knock $20 off and just have the quote offline version of the game for people that don't have high-speed internet and stuff. It's a good selling point.
Yeah.
I would think.
There you go. You heard it here first.
That's right, motherfuckers. All
Yeah.
these good ideas y'all won't be listening to.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for the podcast. Like I said, there are some topics that we did not get to, so hopefully on the next one we'll be able to clean up the list.
Fucking marathon.
As always, any comments, questions, if you want to call us assholes, tell us why we're stupid, anything that you guys want to tell us, comment on the YouTube videos, tweet it to us at 4Player Co-op Live. You've got plenty of ways to reach us. Also, you can listen on SoundCloud.
That's right. Talk to me in Friday the 13th game chat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same.
Yep. Find us.
Yeah.
Let us kill you. Kill us. It's all good fun. So yeah, just let us know what you guys thought. Any questions you guys had? Any comments? Whatever. We'd love to get some interaction. So anything you guys want to shoot at us is fine. But that's going to do it for this episode of the 4Player Co-op podcast. So I want to thank you guys very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Later.
Peace out.
In a rare twist, I'm not going to do a peculiar city today because it's the home of Microsoft. I'm going to say Redmond, Washington. Go fuck yourself. You and Phil Spencer and that other dick licker can just go jump off a bridge together. Later. Deuces.